Good evening, everyone. Episode 2, Season 2. No Limits, Mike and Stace.
Hi, all. Back outside?
Yep, coming to you live from the backyard.
Yes.
So, as per the usual for us, you'll hear the birds chirping. The dog will probably bark at some point in time, too. Because usually how it goes when you're sitting in the backyard drinking some beer doing your podcast.
Yeah.
And we are unapologetically unfiltered.
Heck yeah.
So before we get into tonight's episode, I forgot on the last episode we were talking about Royal Caribbean. And
yes.
We were talking about the drink package, and we didn't get the drink package. So the drink package was $1,200 basically for the two of us, because just one person can't get it. So everybody in your room has to get it. So it was just two of us. It would have been about $1,200 to get it. And we decided to not do that. We paid for our drinks. You bought a bottle of wine. I smuggled a bottle of bourbon.
Yeah.
Anybody want to know how you do it? Talk to me later. I'll tell you exactly how to do it. It's very easy. But with that, we drank beer. We got buckets of beer. We drank the special drink. You had Coco Locos.
I had a Coco Loco. Did I have a Miami Vice?
All kinds of stuff.
I had that drink out of a pineapple the one day, fresh pineapple.
Yep. Our bar tab was under $600. I think it was like $558.
Yeah, for both of us, and we pretty much drank
every day,
whatever we wanted, whenever we wanted. We didn't. Yeah. We were just like, it is what it is.
So
yeah,
I mean,
it wasn't worth it. In other words,
no.
The drink package is not worth it.
No. I mean,
we would never have drank as much. I think it was like 12 drinks per person per day.
Oh, we'd had to get all the frou-frou drinks all day, every day.
We're not here for that. No.
Give me beer. I'm good. Beer or bourbon.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah,
so
worked out perfectly. So,
yeah.
So we just wanted to kind of recap on that, because we did forget that we were going to say what the tab was. So there it is, under $600. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it was $558.
Yeah.
So
not bad at all. And that was 8 days.
Yeah. So before we get into another item, before we get into that, I know you had saw the story on the news that you want to discuss. We can discuss that first. Yeah. Before we get into the text message. So, story on the news, locally here in Pittsburgh, this woman, now, her being on the news for doing this, I feel some kind of way about it. However, the intent of what she did, I'm good with. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where, be a good person in private. You don't need to broadcast it.
So you're talking about the woman who actually set up the GoFundMe for the waitress.
Yeah.
Well, she put it on TikTok or something.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that, so not a clue how that works. But
I guess there was this woman and her kid in Eaton Park. It's a local restaurant here. And their server was an elderly woman. She barely get around. I think at some point in time she said she thought she was in her 70s. Later found out she was 81. Is that what it was?
She's 81, yeah.
Yeah, she's 81.
The woman who had done the TikTok thought she was in her 70s. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Found out she was 81.
She was 81, but she had overheard her talking with some people about why she's still working. Mm-hmm. And she was still working because she can't pay her bills.
Well, she gets $900 in Social Security a month.
$900.
Jesus Christ, that wouldn't even fill up your tank and get you groceries for 2 weeks.
No. Meanwhile, There are people half her age on disability making bank.
Living large.
And here this woman is, retired.
Probably worked her whole entire life.
$900.
$900 a month. And she has no choice but to work to eat. I mean, to pay her bills, keep a roof over her head. That's what this world has come to. And quite frankly, it's freaking disgusting.
Yeah, that we can't even take care of, take care of these fucking illegal immigrants.
Yeah, we do.
But we won't take care of our own. Our elderly own. It's sickening.
It really is.
But
and we should get to pick. Like, we should be, so one of us should be, not you or I, but one of us in general should be allocating, like helping to allocate where this money should go to. Not just like, because the elderly people at 81 years old, unless you want to still work, then that's an entirely different situation. But she had to still work.
Right.
That's not okay.
No, it's not. It's not okay at all. On the bright side of it, she had raised.
Well, the last time I saw it was $250,000.
$250,000 in this GoFundMe.
For others who have contributed.
So
hopefully she'll be able to retire and at least finally relax, for God's sakes.
Yeah, because I saw, part of the video, and the woman could barely get around.
I didn't see the video, but it just was heartbreaking. I mean, you hear something like that, it just isn't right. It's very infuriating.
Excuse me. Yeah, we previous administrations, we cared more about the illegal immigrants than we did
our
own people, our veterans, our elderly.
And the sad thing of it is that we're so far off the rails, and people are like, "Well, why isn't he doing anything?" Well, he is. I mean, it didn't go off the rails overnight, and it's not going to go back on the rails overnight. I mean, have a little bit of common sense, for God's sakes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, at least now she should be good to go.
She should be. So
God love her.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
So that leads us into the actual topic of this evening, the text. And I guess it's definitely more than just one text. It was a series of text messages. I'm sure everybody knows what we're talking about. It's the text messages where the journalists got added into the group chat of text messages about some bombings that were going to happen. So I'm annoyed. And I'm annoyed about the whole thing because, and I think, you said it best, it makes us look like fools.
Yeah.
And I know that, Trump, he wasn't even in the group chat, but his people were.
Right.
And what really annoys me about it is the fact that, Trump came out and said there was no classified information. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't read, all of it to know if there was or there wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a few of his people come out, saying that there was no classified information. Trump even said it's a witch hunt. Everybody's downplaying it. That pisses me off. Somebody needs to be fucking fired.
Yeah.
Bottom line, somebody needs to be motherfucking fired.
Why are we texting about this? Why aren't we having, I don't even know about email. Why aren't we having a huddle? All the rest of us have to sit through that.
Yeah, we have to sit through huddles at work.
But, and this is, that is serious shit that they're talking about. Why are we texting in a group chat? This isn't about who's bringing the charcuterie board to the party on Friday. This is serious shit that we're texting and chatting about. That's not okay. It just doesn't sit well with me.
No, it's not. And Pam Bondi came out and she said, there was no classified information. What we should be focusing on is that it was a successful mission. Okay. That's great that it was a successful mission. However, this motherfucker was still added into a chat that he shouldn't have been added into.
Who added him?
So one of Waltz's, one of his people, I forget who it actually was.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, you already have like
why
a
did he let
chat.
him in? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
somebody needs to be fired over this. Quit downplaying it, because what if there was classified information?
I just can't get over the fact that this is all happening via text. Come on now.
We were all in an uproar about Hillary Clinton and her emails on her private account.
Right.
But we're going to downplay a journalist being added into a chat. Come on now. Hold fucking somebody accountable.
To me, it's just a little bit questionable. Like, why are we adding a journalist into this? Because their job is to report. What is the purpose of that? It just doesn't. Something doesn't seem right. I don't know.
No, something doesn't seem right at all. I want to know more about the person that added him in.
Same.
Who is this person?
That person needs to be. You're done.
Yes.
You're done.
That person, and quite frankly, whoever hired that person
needs to be. You're
shit
done.
Canned as well.
Yeah.
You've got to make an example of people. That's part of the issue with our country in general, is we're not making examples of people. Make a fucking example. Well, there are no
repercussions.
Right. 30 years ago, I walked down the street and smacked somebody in the face. I get fucking shot. Now I can walk down, slap somebody in the face, and they'll go tell their mommy.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
but the thing of it is the new administration is under scrutiny under magnifying glass, because and it is crappy that's the way that it is, but that. So you need to be diligent and freaking careful.
Yeah. And I understand that they're, moving full speed ahead, and I appreciate that they're moving full speed ahead.
For sure.
I'm grateful that they're moving full 100%. Speed ahead. However, when shit like this happens, somebody needs to be held accountable. Don't downplay it.
Yeah.
We're not stupid.
Right. Don't be like the last administration and sneaky and it's not really a big deal. But if it is, handle it, because it certainly looks like a big deal.
Excuse me. And the comment will resonate with the conversation we had yesterday at dinner. It didn't just happen once. If you found out about it once, I guarantee it happened other times.
Yeah.
Nothing ever just happens once.
Right, that's like just a scratch on the surface.
Nothing ever just happens once. It's happened before. I guarantee it. And probably with the same person that, brought the journalist in. So there needs to be some accountability. Quit fucking downplaying it for us. We don't want to hear you downplay. We want to see action.
Exactly.
That's all we're asking for is take action.
Take action, take accountability, handle it.
Yep.
Don't let it happen again. It's just not okay.
And that's the key. Don't let it happen again.
Aren't there rules or... But you can't be texting.
Yeah, and I don't even know what this... Was it Signal? Was that the app that they were using or something like that?
I have absolutely no idea.
I'm not sure, what chap...
Was it
chaps my ass?
They're really chaps. Was it a chat app?
What chat app?
Chat.
I'm pretty sure it was called Signal or something like that. I know nothing about it.
So obviously, was it encrypted? Was it secure?
I had heard that it was approved at one point, but
that it was secure. Is anything really secure?
No, it's not.
No.
Look, like I said,
there he is.
You heard the dog barking. Nothing is, ever really secure. Look at that 23andMe.
Ooh. Yes.
All those people submitted their DNA to learn, about their ancestors and all that, and now the company's going bankrupt.
Yeah, so there are a lot of neither one of us did that. Like,
right?
I know enough about just the immediate that we don't need to dig. I'm good, quite frankly. But no, I'm sure that it is. I'm sure that it probably was super cool to kind of be able to piece that together and, find out about your ancestry, your history and whatnot. And who would have thought, you know what I mean? But I mean, I'm kind of a skeptic anyway to give let's be real. I mean, they already have our facial identification and pretty much.
They do have our facial recognition. When we got off the cruise, we come back with our passports. We walk through the camera. We didn't even need to show our passport.
Yeah, usually it's a whole thing when you go through customs.
Yeah.
And you came through, and then she went ahead and gave me the okay to come through, and I was like, have your passport in your hand, and I had my passport in my hand. Literally, you look at this screen. It was almost really not that much bigger than a cell phone. She was like, "You're good."
Yeah.
And
didn't even need to show it.
So think about that, right? So they already have facial recognition. And if you've worked for any, school jobs, you volunteered or anything, you're already fingerprinted. So already an APHIS. And then if you not only voluntarily gave your DNA, but you paid for it as well. So for those folks, and I guess everyone was in an uproar about trying to go on and delete their information. And I guess the site had closed down so quickly that people weren't even able, it logged them out and they weren't even able to log in to delete their information. And others, because I always go to the comments. Anybody that has listened to our podcast before knows the comments, that's where the gold's at. And the whole comment thread was others essentially saying that you don't think that information has already been sold off long ago.
Well, the government had had your DNA as soon as you submitted it. Before 23andMe actually got it, the government had it. For sure. So.
Yep.
There was another one, Ancestry.com.
Oh, yeah. Is that still a thing?
I don't know. But Ancestry.com, I thought that was the one where the police actually cracked a cold case.
Well, probably, because since they start, since I'm a huge true crime buff and whatnot, and since DNA, really, it's not really that old. What was in the past, 20, 30 years? I'm not even sure, but it would make sense because the person themselves, the perpetrator, didn't necessarily have to submit their DNA. It could have been a family member, a sister,
and that's what
a
it was.
mom or something.
I thought it was Ancestry. It could have been 23andMe. I don't know.
Either way, it's, one and the same, essentially.
Right. Yeah, the government's got your DNA.
And I'm thinking to myself, even as curious as I would be, that's a real big no for me.
No.
I mean, it's unnecessary. They already have enough information as it is.
Yes.
Their own personal listening devices, all of our...
Oh, I know.
Our cell phones and whatnot.
Yep. Quick.
Yep. Shout out to you again, bud.
Listening to us, from the government.
Yep.
Government's always listening.
Yep. But so curious to see. I mean, that was big news, but it'll get brushed under the rug as per usual, and something else big will come along and it'll get forgotten about, except for the folks who it affects. You know what I mean? It doesn't affect us, so I'll forget about it.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be concerned. They didn't sell, a lot of big companies like that and whatnot. They filed bankruptcy or whatever. Another bigger company will come in and maybe buy them out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can continue on just under a different name. But it just seems like that was... Clearly there wasn't a large enough demographic for it because there was just the two.
Government to buy them out.
They already have, like you said. Like, think about that, what you said a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
That they already have their hands on that, because how else would it? And technically, now that has me thinking as per healthcare. But I guess if you're not submitting it, I don't know that the HIPAA. I guess, but if they're digging into your ancestry and whatnot via your DNA, I don't think that HIPAA would apply.
Mm-mm. I don't think it would. And that's the thing. Like you said, it doesn't have to be, necessarily your DNA. Mm-hmm. Just any one of your relatives.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, governments always watching and listening.
Yeah.
I did see. I know we're jumping topics. That's just kind of how we roll.
Yep.
I saw good old RFK.
Yeah.
Making some news, not just about the cutting 10,000 people. I think it's actually like 20,000.
He came in and he says, "You're done."
He did, but. He's starting to push to ban a lot of the dyes.
Yeah.
I told you about this. So,
right.
What I found interesting was, Fruit Loops. We're just going to talk about Fruit Loops.
Yeah, we've discussed this, just you and I.
Mm-hmm. So, in Canada, Fruit Loops don't look the same.
Yeah.
In England, they don't look the same.
Yeah, I was going to say the UK, I thought.
But what I really found interesting was as close as Canada. They don't look the same. And the difference is all these red, blue, and green dyes are banned.
Yeah.
So what do they use to color them, you might ask?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the only one I could remember out of the group. But it was the red. So instead of red dye 40, 30, 20, 10, whatever the hell it was,
right,
they use fucking strawberry.
Which it's Fruit Loops, so
yeah, it's not natural. As bright. The juice.
I bet you it tastes better though. Fruit Loops are good. I'm not gonna lie.
But who cares if it's as bright of a color?
First of all, why are we feeding our kids this junk anyway?
Right.
My kids really aren't big cereal eaters, so my brother and myself were, but not my kids. But it's poison.
So they are keeping their word. RFK, Trump asked him to make America healthy again because that's what RFK has wanted for years.
That's his tagline for sure. And I mean, he's done his homework.
Trump is, he is keeping his word. Shrinking government, which, government was way too big. So Trump is doing a lot of good. There's a lot of good that he's doing.
Yes.
So, that initial part about, the text, like I said, he wasn't even involved in, text messages. So I don't want it to seem like, we're, completely down on him because no, he's doing a lot of really good things.
Yeah. You don't see a lot or hear a lot because he's working.
Right. And we fully support him.
Yes.
However, we want somebody fucking fired for that.
With the government as a business at this point, and just with anything else, if you had somebody at your work this was happening, somebody at my work, there would be repercussions. It just did, and I'm sure everybody that's listening. I mean, you can't just because you work for the government, let it brush under the rug. No.
How about that person that works for the local government that stole all that fucking money?
For years, unreal. Which was like since 2018 or 19, she'd embezzled with like 150 grand. She just worked for the local
township.
The township, not even the county, the little local township. And she 150 grand. So 2018, let's say, so in 7 years, and she had essentially was using it as her own personal account.
Yeah, she was buying Amazon, ordering from Amazon with
wine
it.
And good wines and spirits.
And wine and spirits, yep.
Whatever.
The booze.
Amazon
and booze.
Stuff. Well, I mean, we all spend our money on that, but we're in it. Honestly. Mm-hmm. Come on, ma'am, get with the program.
And it wasn't caught until
somebody else came in, right? So somebody else had come in. And I don't know if they were doing like an audit, or if they were maybe doing like a sit down to kind of just like a passing the torch type of deal. Like, show me your books. Like, what's happening? And she was shitting bricks because it was like, it came to the point where she had to show her hand. And so she finally came in and she fessed up to 20 grand. Well, that's just a drop in the bucket. Of course, you say, well, you know what? It was only 20 grand. Well, really?
If you did it once.
As per what we were saying before.
You did it before.
You do a little bit of digging, and they find 150 grand, and she paid some of her local bills, like some of her home bills with that as well.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah. She was just dipping into that like it was her own personal account. So, I mean, it's unfortunate that they walk among us. This is shit that you're taught, should be taught, when you're 1, 2, 3 years old. If it isn't yours, don't fucking touch it.
Yeah.
If it ain't yours, don't just be a good person, for Christ's sake.
It's really that simple.
Pretty simple.
It's not yours.
Don't touch it.
Keep your grubby hands off of it.
For real.
Yeah.
And if her job didn't pay her enough to support her apparent booze and Amazon addiction, or cover her, get another job. Either get a second job, quit this one, get you some skills, get another job. Don't freaking take from the township folk.
I made sure I got a job that pays me enough to afford my booze.
Same. It's kind of a full circle if you look at it. You need the booze to be able to handle your job, but you need the job to be able to afford the booze. Full circle. Or just Gen X in general. We're just out here, just living it.
Yeah. Speaking of booze.
Yeah.
We're sitting here. So we had a whole podcast on Gettysburg.
Yep. Literally one of our favorite places ever.
And
we go multiple times a year.
The one place that we always go whenever we spend the night, we always go for dinner.
Yep.
Appalachian Brewing Company, because it's always right across the street from the hotel that we stay at.
The town is very walkable, and that is right across the street. And they have this super cool. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but like I just get so excited when we talk about Gettysburg. This super cool like outdoor, like this outside area where you can sit with like picnic tables, and they have, the patio lights, and the vibe is just amazing. And since COVID, since the Rhone, they put in the outside window, so you can essentially walk up. Unbeknownst to us, in fact, last time we were able to order, because we had the little guy. Mm-hmm. We were able to order our entire meal, our drinks, everything, and sit at the picnic table, all outside.
Yep.
Anywho, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
When we talk about that, I just get so excited. I love it so much.
We were on our way home today. I was like, we need to stop at the beer distributor and get some more beer, because I was pretty much out of my Yuengling.
Yeah.
When we go in there, we never just, go get our beer. We always, walk around to see what, local brews they have. Walking down the very first aisle, and I look and I'm like, well, I'm getting this.
Heck yeah.
It was a 6-pack Appalachian Brewing.
You showed me. I was like, I'm so excited.
And 2 of the 6 were...
Because I was like, wait, they're different.
The actual one that I drink there, the Mountain Lager.
I get the Hoppy Trails, but they were still 2... the other 4 were IPAs, which that's my jam.
yeah, that's all you. That's all you.
Yeah.
I'll stick with the loggers. I'm a logger guy.
Yeah.
So I do like those. So yeah, apparently they're branching out to the Berg.
Yeah. Bring it.
From one Berg to the other.
Yes. From Gettysburg to the Burger Pits.
Yep. So.
Yeah.
But
that was exciting.
Yeah, that was very exciting. So, way to go, Appalachian Brewing Company. We're happy for you that you're branching out.
Yep, and we support you there. We support you here.
Yeah, wherever you're at, we'll support you.
Yep.
So, but I know we covered a few different topics, but like I said, that's kind of how we roll. But I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the evening as this loud truck goes down the street. But
it does feel good to be finally sitting outside.
Yeah, it feels great.
Yeah.
So with that, Mike Stace signing off.
Have a good week, everybody. Bye.